Hey everybody, Dan coming to you here for rbbass.net. I want to talk to you guys about a little bit of a technique that's been around a long time, but I don't think everybody's utilizing it for a certain other technique inside of the technique. I've had a chance to fish a couple turkey shoots, working man's out here this week, and had a little bit of success, and I had it actually on this form of a technique. So I wanted to show everybody about it, how to rig it, just a little information real quick. So we're all familiar with the Neko rig, wacky rig, and a Senko, a General, a Yum Dinger, whatever kind of stick bait you prefer. We're all familiar with a light line, a nail weight, small hook, all this kind of thing, and throwing it out on points and whatnot. But what I found this last week was I fish a pretty heavily pressured lake down here, right? And I found some fish set up on some outside cedar trees, and I was able to catch them in practice on spinner bait and traditionally flipping. Well, when a tournament got closer, those fish kind of, because they've been beat up on so much, I think they kind of got a little further off of that cedar tree, and I think they kind of got a little more wary to what was going on. They were getting pre-spawned, getting moved, and they weren't reacting real well. So what I did is actually I'll show y'all. So what I did is I fished a traditional Neko rig, but I did it more of a power flipping style, right? What this is this is a 6 1/4 inch Berkeley General black blue flake, pretty standard anywhere in the world. And I fish it on a 4/0, I believe this is a Kobayashi hook, and I fish it with a 1/8 nail or a nail weight in it, just like this here, just a standard nail weight with the head on the outside. But the thing of it is, what makes it special is when I fish this thing, I'm target orientated, right? Like, I mean, I'm fishing an object. I mean, I got it on a 7.5 foot Tattoo Elite flipping stick, 20-pound fluorocarbon, and that big hook. And here's the deal: is I'm taking traditionally a finesse technique that we would have fished out in deep, clear, shallow water, and I'm taking it and I'm putting it in cover. I'm putting it around the edge of the cover, and I'm giving those fish a different look versus that big weight, that big bait coming down right on them, or a chatterbait, spinnerbait. I'm giving them a finesse presentation with a bulky bait that I still feel like I'm going to be able to get some of that big pre-spawn hens to still react to. There's a couple keys to rigging this thing, which I've found out over the years. I fished this for a long time. It's a phenomenal technique to get bites from fish that are pressured, but you know they're shallow. They're up there doing their thing, you know what I mean? And that's the deal. They're there, and you're trying to get those big ones you know are there to react to something, but once they get beat up on, you need to come at them with a different approach, a little more, let's say, power finesse, right? So I want to show you a couple of tricks of this thing that I do to it. You know, they're not like super secret stuff, but it's things that are going to help you through the rigging process. So when you're getting ready to fish this way, number one is the same deal. Like I said, I like to fish the Berkeley General. It's just a great bait. It has scent. They're cheaper. I get more for my money. Here's the thing. O-rings. We all know about O-rings. There's a million of them on the market. I like to fish the Frenzy Wacky Saddle. And Wacky Saddle. And here's why. So it goes on like any other O-ring. Comes out like this. This one's a little different because it has two rings, one on each side, and it has the actual saddle part right there in the middle. Take your normal wacky tool, whatever brand you like, one ring over, then you basically fold it in half, put your second ring on, slide it up there on the barrel like you would any other O-ring. Here's the difference. So when I go onto my bait, I'm going to go right there, you know, center of the bait, a little bit above the egg sac, whatever y'all want to call it. You put it on there. So when it comes off, that's why they call it the wacky saddle. You have the two rings, they connect over to the actual saddle part, which is that patch of that rubber right there in the center. This is what makes it special. I'll use this one just for video's sake. That's how we put it on. Now, when it comes to actually fishing this technique, is what I do is I have that heavier gauge. It's still a wacky rig Neko style hook. I have my weed guard on it. But what I can do is, rather than a traditional O-ring, you have one ring around it, you try and put that big old flipping hook through it and pitch that big bait into that cover. Every time you hit a limb, you hit something like that with that one O-ring, you're going to be sliding that worm through that ring up and down. It's never going to present itself right. When you fish with the saddle, you actually put your hook right through that patch, right through where that hard rubber patch is. Let me get a hook out and I'll show you all exactly what I mean. Watch out, lap dog. I should have been prepared for this. This will give you a better presentation. Know exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so here's the hook that I'm fishing with. But, like I said, with this one here, I just put the saddle on. What I would do, take your wacky hook, and rather than go through these O-rings like this, to where you'd have a hook just through a ring, when I'm fishing heavy cover, pitching that bait to targets, I come in underneath that patch of hard rubber, the saddle, so it gets just underneath it, and I pop it actually through that rubber patch. Now that's the deal, because now when I'm pitching that thing into cover, it's not going to hang up. The hook's not going to come out from under that ring. The stick bait's not going to slide up and down through that ring, through that harness. When you hook it through the saddle like that, it's there. Like I said, this right here is the exact one I was fishing this week. And once you rig it through there, it's not coming out of that saddle. I mean, it's there. You catch multiple fish on it, not lose your stick worm, and it's never going to be in a bad position for a hook set. What I mean by that is you're not going to have it hooked through one ring, make that flip, get it hung up on a stick, shake it down, and all of a sudden now that ring works its way all the way up here to the tail and your worm's all balled up. The one other trick to this thing, and I don't really think it's a trick, it's just I'm pretty particular about my tackle. So like I said, this is a standard 1/8 ounce nail insert. That's all it is. What they look like when you buy them out of the package, whatever brand y'all want to use, is they come out looking like this, just a piece of lead. The only difference I do is if I was to take this, insert it into the fatter end of the bait, that's the end of the stick worm that's going to fall straight down when I'm making that flip, you know what I mean? That's the weight side, that's going to go down. So when I insert it in, just because of how particular I am, I will cover up that exposed head on that. A lot of guys like to fish a straight nail insert to where the whole nail inserts in the bait, there's no piece of that lead sticking out, and I think that's a good idea when you're fishing deeper. I like having that exposed head because when I fish it shallower, I feel like on our lakes down here, when I'm fishing that exposed head, I flip that bait out there, it drops. I can tell real quick when it falls next to that cedar tree if I'm fishing a muddy bottom or a hard bottom. If I feel that bait drop, it goes thunk on the bottom, I know I'm on some shale. You know what I mean? I'm in an area where I know there's hard bottom, fish are spawning. It's one of the things that I like to know. It's just that extra piece of information that knows I'm putting my bait in the right spot. If I was to flip that bait in there and feel it hit a mush bottom, you know, I'm probably going to buzz onto the next tree. You know what I mean? But if I flip it in there and feel I'm fishing hard bottom, that's going to give me a reason to make 2 or 3 more flips, maybe get a bite, maybe not. All right. There it is right there. 6.5 inch general, wacky saddle. I got my heavy gauge Neko rig hook with a weed guard, hooked up through the saddle, put my nail weight in there, painted the head, flip it on heavy tackle, heavy line. That's going to get you some big pre-spawn bites in cover where other guys are in there dobbing around a big weight and a big bait. They're throwing a spinner bait or chatter bait. Come behind them with this. It's a power finesse technique that's going to get you a few more bites. I hope this helps. If y'all like this little tip, do me a favor, subscribe to the RB Bass YouTube channel, give us a like on Facebook, give us a like on Instagram. We appreciate our support. Y'all have a good day.